Right. Thanks for being here, Nikki. As we are working on our definition of the immersion method, can you please introduce yourself and what you do at Miami Valley?
Sure. So my name is Nikki Sever, and I teach kindergarten here at Miami Valley, and this is my first year.
Great. Well, thanks for being here. So the question we want you to look at is, how do you engineer an environment that fosters the elements of the foundation gear? And the foundation gear includes concepts as safety, knowledge, guidance, collaboration, trust, and opportunity.
Well, I think this is an interesting question for kindergarten especially, and for myself as a first-year teacher, because I came in with a lot of ideas of or pictures of how I thought everything would go so perfectly, and obviously it doesn't always go like that. But here at Miami Valley, I think, starting from the beginning of our day, one of the first things we do is have a morning meeting, and that to me was new here, but based on feedback from the children, I know that it's one of the most important things that we do. Some days, our schedule's really crazy in the morning. We don't quite get to the morning meeting, and everyone's like, well, what about our meeting? And I've found out through asking them and just conversations with them that they love to do the greeting every morning, whether it's in another language or something silly or really quick or a game. They like to be recognized, and I think that is very important for their safety and their trust. They trust that when they come in the morning, they feel safe and they feel loved and important. Also, with the morning meeting, they get to share things. We have a sharing that's theme-based, but we also have news and announcements, and it's pretty much they can just talk about whatever they like, and it's really interesting to see what they say, and I think that makes them feel safe and important. As far as, the rest of the things that we do, collaboration is a really interesting one. There's collaboration within the room. Everything we do, we either do together or in a small group. They all have their own work, but they're constantly working together, talking, sharing ideas, and that's one thing that I kind of struggled with at first. How much do you let a student discuss something during an assignment? But it's a little different in kindergarten, which was new for me. And I think the collaboration part is really important for them at this age, to hear others' ideas, because it's like an aha moment. I had never thought of it that way. So they share some interesting things when they're talking during their assignments. And collaboration as a kindergarten grade as a whole. We come together for videos that we'll put up, songs that we sing. They love to have, this week we're having a dance party. So we'll put up some songs about the 7 continents, and they'll get a little chance to dance, and they hear those facts, and they're learning throughout that process. And we also kind of stay on the same base. We do the same things, and it's funny, at recess they might say like, oh, you did that? We did that too. Like if they're talking about it. I know we had kissing hands at the beginning of the year, and it was so cute. Someone from each class said, you have a kissing hand? I have a kissing hand too. And then they ran off and they were playing. So that, I think, is important for them as well. Guidance. That one's funny for kindergarten because everything, I think, really needs guidance. I personally do a lot of modeling. So anytime we have an assignment, it's not like, here are the directions, go for it, or read the directions. It's, here's what you're going to do. Here's one way that you could do it, and you actually go through the steps to show them. They're still learning that when you cut something off, you might want to separate your scraps from what you need so you don't throw it away. Or when you're gluing, you want to put glue on the smaller piece that you're going to stick on the bigger piece. Those kind of things, they need that guidance, and modeling is very important. So I think.
Okay, good. What about opportunity? Speak to that. Right?
Could you clarify on what you mean by opportunity?
Well, are there moments during the day where an opportunity comes up that you seize it, or opportunity
Like a learning.
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah, that happens all the time,
Mhm.
especially socially. There are a lot of things that happen. Somebody's upset about something, or, they just haven't quite learned how to react to something. And so it's kind of one of those moments where you might stop and you'll stop the people involved. But then, if appropriate, we step back and you say, you know what, friends, we need help with this, and you kind of bring in everybody as an opportunity to share what they might do or how they might feel, and then we learn how to work through it from there. So I think a lot of social, emotional learning opportunities and growing from that. Other times, we'll start with just the United States we were learning about, and we expanded to North America and the 7 continents. And from there, we have an opportunity to bring in families with different cultures. So this week we had a mother of a child from Syria present about Syria. She brought in flags and clothes and artifacts and goods that they've made in Syria, and songs, and the kids loved it. So that was an opportunity to expand. Yeah, we're learning about the 7 continents, but we know someone from Syria, so we can learn more about Syria. So that kind of stuff.
Perfect. That's just what I'm looking for. What about this word knowledge? How do you expand your knowledge professionally for the classroom?
For me, I expand my knowledge best by watching others. It's been hard recently, but I know in the beginning of the year I spent a lot of my time in Jennifer's classroom because she's been doing this for so long. She's right across the hall. She's teaching. I would just kind of pop in, sit in the back of the room, and again, since we're teaching the same kind of things to our kids, it's really easy for me to watch her and say, oh, that's such a good way to do that. And she's very good about preventative things, so I can prevent some things that might have gone wrong the first time, and I'll fix it the next time. But just watching a lot, and researching things. If I have a specific question, because I'm not quite sure about all the responsive classroom things, I'll Google it. I'll watch a video of a responsive classroom. I'll read a book about it. So those things have been helpful.
Great. You talked about collaboration in terms of with the kids. What about you professionally?
Again, I collaborate with Jennifer a lot. She's been very helpful, and we like to bring our classes together. So that's one way we collaborate. We say, hey, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this. Wouldn't it be fun if we all did it together? It'd be fun for the kids. We've also collaborated a lot with science. Melissa Waltz has come to us and said, hey, I noticed in your classroom you guys have a lot of colorful things. You've got color words up. You're learning about your colors. I've got some fun, colorful science experiments. Let's do them. And we kind of coordinate. And so the kids are doing colors in science, but they're learning also about mixing colors and chemical reactions. But then in our classroom, they get to see that as well. So that kind of collaboration.
Great. Let's see. How do you determine what content and skills to teach in your classroom?
Well, we start with the basics, kind of like what all kindergartners need, but then you really have to look at your students and see what they need, specifically what kind of things they already have, and you go from there, almost like one of those opportunity things, like this is a good opportunity to teach them how to tie their shoes, or this is a good opportunity to teach them how to discuss a problem and resolve it. So I think it just depends on what they need.
So would you say year to year, is it similar, your classroom, or quite different? I mean,
well,
it's your first year.
This is my first year, so I have no clue, but based on how I have, what I've seen and how I feel so far, there are some things that I will do completely different, might not even do them at all. And there are some things that are working, and I would keep them the same. So it'll definitely be different year to year. I can tell you that now.
Great. All right. I think you've addressed all of the main content, safety. Are there other places And you mentioned morning meeting, and the morning is a really great place to
Mhm.
create that sense of safety. Are there other moments during the day or other things that you do to create safety in your classroom?
I think just being very responsive to their needs and their feelings, because